Functionality and sales, that's what he was after. Professional looking, but not always pretty and not always funny. So let's take this. There is a simple old formula in advertising as well as in sales called AIDA. How does it work, folks? It says attention, everybody. Action, okay? Attention, interest, desire, action. The whole point of this is to get to which one? Action. The whole point is to get them to take some form of action, to follow that process. Now, to do that, we need to work on some very basic fundamentals. To get people's attention, there's several things in an advertisement that will get people's attention. First thing that gets their attention is what? A headline. Now, when we talk about a headline, folks, are there headlines on letters that you write, like sales letters, yes or no? Yeah, are there headlines on your TV ads, yes or no? How many of you do TV advertising at present, by the way? Hands up if you do TV advertising. 1, 2, okay. More of you probably should be. TV is a wonderful medium, okay? But it seems expensive, but in reality, it's not if you use it well, okay? So just keep that in the back of your mind. How many of you use radio currently? Hands up if you use radio currently. A couple more. How many of you are in magazines currently? Okay. Newspapers? Okay, let me just divide that. Who's in Metro dailies first? Metro dailies? Local weeklies? Okay, good. How many of you doing direct mail currently? Lots more. Flyers? Okay. Who else is doing any other major stuff? Yellow pages, yep, how many in yellow pages? That's what I forgot. Okay. Telemarketing, how many telemarketing? Good, some of you are doing bulk. Some of you had a good workout on your arms there, that's excellent. With your headlines, folks, one of the biggest challenges I find with headlines is that people pass them around the office and ask people in the office which one they think will be successful. And the simple fact is the people in your office are the worst test cases. The best test cases is walk to the office 1 floor up or 1 floor down and ask them, because they don't know your business. They're not in it all day, every day. They don't have a biased opinion. Does that make sense? Okay. You're still going to want to write a whole bunch. Some of the basic mistakes that people make in headlines, hopefully most of you aren't making these, but we'll get rid of them just in case. Using your own name. Who gives a rat's if your company's name is Joe's Plumbing and you put it at the top of your head, top of your ad? The only people that get excited about that is you and your mum. Anyone else named Joe, I suppose. Second one, always put the word you in your headlines. How come? Personalize it to the person listening or watching or reading. Now, do you use headlines when you're telemarketing, by the way? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. What should the first line that comes out of your mouth be in telemarketing? The headline. You know, am I speaking with Mrs. Jones? Oh, Mrs. Jones, I'm calling to let you know we have a way for you to halve your grocery bill. Would it be okay if I talk to you for 3 minutes on that? What's Mrs. Jones going to say? Yeah, you're given the biggest benefit of the telephone call up front. And it's like, wow, you're going to talk to me about halving my grocery bill for 3 minutes? Go for your life. But what do most telemarketers do? Oh, Mr. Sugars, I'm calling you because we call from such and such an agency. I'm just wondering, well, they don't. They just keep going and they keep talking and they wonder if they keep talking, they'll eventually get you and wear you down and you'll say yes. How many of you have had one of those telemarketers call you? They're generally the donation ones, aren't they? Yeah, we're going to get the donation. We're going to keep talking until we wear you down. Simple fact is, if you are a telemarketer and you are not getting the person to answer questions, you are not going to get sales. We'll get more onto sales stuff tomorrow on telemarketing, but let's deal with this now. Your headline. One of my absolute all-time favourite things to do on a headline is to open a loop. What do I mean by opening a loop? I mean opening a connection in the person's brain that has to be completed. How do they complete the loop? Read the rest of the ad. You know, like if I write an advertisement that says the headline, 7 reasons why you should do X, Y, Z. What is it your brain now wants to find out? The 7 reasons. 3 ways to double your income in the next 6 months. What does your brain now want to find out? The 3 ways. Here's why 7 out of 10 housewives prefer XYZ brand. Here's how. How to. We'll deal with all of these starts in a moment. I'll give you a list of them. Free. Look, free works in a headline, but often it brings you such a low-level response that you wouldn't want to use it. Depends on what you're going after. I used to run business and sales and marketing seminars that was free. My headline was Free Business Sales and Marketing Seminar. Does anyone in the room ever remember reading that one? Anyone ever come to my free business sales and marketing seminar? See, my whole point was I was getting thousands of people, but I wasn't getting quality. Nowadays, you want to come to a seminar, even if it's a preview, you have to pay. Because I want quality. I don't want quantity anymore, I want quality. So, good point, but we'll get to that in a moment again. Qualify the right readers. This is one of the keys to writing a great headline. Some Petter's suspension. Years ago, I wrote a bunch of ads for Petter's suspension. And they were the best ever response these guys ever got. The headline on it, first one, was 4-wheel drive owners, 4WD owners. So guess who wanted to read the ad? Hello? Excellent. I thought you guys had, didn't work that out there for a second. Then we did Falcon owners and Commodore owners and Camry owners. Camry sort of did average response, but Falcon and Commodore owners just was huge. Because we qualified the right reader. Does that make sense? So like when you see, I see some companies that try and be smart, Alex, and they write sex. Now that we've got your attention, it's like, who do you really want reading your ad? If you want 19-year-old secretaries to read your ad, what do you put at the top of your ad? Not sex. 19-year-old male electricians, maybe, but What do you put at the top? A message for all 19-year-old secretaries in Brisbane or in Sydney or in Melbourne. Does that make sense? I'm talking about making it so simplistic that people go, that's too simple. That's the point. If you make it that simple, they will read it. Like I do a thing, business owners. And people wonder, who reads that? Oh, I wonder. Oh, I love the one where I put a public notice to all business owners. How many of them read that? All of them. So I think, what's going wrong? In fact, one of the funniest ones that gets attention is, how many of you read the apologies in the newspapers? You know where they have apology because they ran the wrong ad or they ran the wrong thing? The number of people that read those is phenomenal. One of these years I'm going to just test running ads with apology at the top. Apology. Sorry to all business owners who haven't been to my seminars before. You're missing out on lots of profitability. But when you qualify the right readers, folks, it totally changes who you're after. And you can get into detail around qualifying the right readers. Yeah? Homeowners looking to sell their home in the next 6 months for top dollar. See, if you put the word homeowners in there, what's it tell them? Please read. 7 reasons why every homeowner in Brisbane should call for this free tape. These are simple things. They're simple rules we use. Sell the benefits in your headline. Oh, well, I've gone on to the next one. Too bad. Benefit-oriented headlines outsell any other headline. The curiosity, the fun, the clever. A benefit-oriented headline outsells all of the others, folks. So make sure you focus on the benefits, not on the negatives of your ad. Your advertisement in a print ad should be approximately 20 to 25% of the space of the ad. That's the sizing of what it should be. So if my ad is 10 centimetres deep, my headline should be 2 to 2.5 centimetres of the ad. Let's keep going on that. Some headline starters. In fact, how much time we got? Okay, we're going to do an activity now. Some think music, please, micro, soft stuff, maestros. You're going to write 2 headlines for your business based on every headline starter I give you. Does that make sense? So the first one is how to. So you're going to write a headline based on that. So someone give me their business and I'll give you an example. Cost reduction. How to cut the costs in your business by 11.5% in the next 4 weeks. Does that make sense? Okay, it tells who he's after and all that in the ad. Great. You got time now? Write 2 for your business. Whatever area you're in. Yeah. All right, we've got about 10 minutes to go. So let's finish up that task there and let's move on. Thank you, Maestro. Getting people's attention. Layout and pictures, definitely important part, especially for, I'm going to deal here with mainly newspapers and magazines. TV and radio obviously a different ballpark, and layout doesn't really matter. You've got to picture board it and storyboard it. There's plenty of professionals that will work you through that. It's worth spending the money. When you're doing magazines or newspapers, early right-hand page, right-hand edge. Left page sucks. Any newspaper advertising salesperson that said, oh, but they're all read the same, you ask them, well, why the heck do you charge more then for the front page? Oh, well, because everyone wants to be there. Why does everyone want to be there? Oh, because it seems to sell more. Well, shut up and put me there. Is it worth paying the 30 or 50% loading to be on page 3, 5, 7, 9, 11? Yes or no? Absolutely. Always pay the loading. Have a smaller ad if you've only got a certain budget, a smaller ad, but pay the loading. Does that make sense? Hello? Yes. Good. Photo, one of 2 ways to do photographs in a effective advertising. Either this way that I mentioned before, where you make it the top third of your advertisement. Okay, so it's the top third, then your headline's underneath it, and then your offer and copy. By the way, where do you put your phone number in an ad? Bottom right-hand side. How come? Because eyes always travel top left to bottom right, unless you're in China. I mean Japan, sorry. They read the paper backwards. The other way is to just do a head and shoulders shot. No matter what ad you're in, specifically yellow pages, it's amazing the number of people that don't do it. So you put your headline here, and your headline continues on down here type thing, but then you have a head and shoulders shot, you know, with your scone in it. It says Bob, you know, managing director, and then you generally put a quote underneath Bob's name where Bob says something like, you know, I guarantee you'll get the best service ever. If not, I'll give you your money back, or something simple like that. Does that make sense? Yes, no? Okay. And then, of course, there's your offer and there's your phone number, and where's your logo go? Not up the top, logo's here. Phone and contact details over there, or address, or whatever it is you want them to do. So whatever it is you want them to do goes there, there's your logo. Logos never go at the top of an ad. What a waste of money. Should the ad be more white space or more writing and stuff? More writing, less white space. Who told you it should be white space? The person at the newspaper. Isn't that interesting? What's the psychology of that? Anyone who's interested in buying your product will read as much as they need to. Yeah, if they're not interested though, they're not going to buy. So why cater those that aren't interested? But the other thing you can do, and this is one of the simple ways to break up, let's say you're writing a full page ad. If you're using a lot of text, you also have sub-headlines. So that if they don't want to read that whole section, they can jump to the next sub-headline. Does that make sense? Okay. It's all in cash, customers, and ads that sell. So read that one to get all the detail of exactly where. Stay off left pages and out of the gutter. Do you all know what a gutter is in a paper? That center margin where the fold is? You don't want to be on the fold. Why? Can they tear your ad out? It's very, very hard to tear your ad out of the gutter. Headline at the top, name and contact details at the bottom. We've covered that. A dashed border. What does a dashed border mean? When you get a dashed border, what's it mean? Tear it out. Cut it out. So if you're running a smaller ad, and that's about 5 centimetres square would be sort of the size I'm talking about. 10 centimetres square would be about the biggest, 3-column 10 centimetre. That size ad, you can put a dashed border around and it will actually increase the effectiveness by approximately 20%. 20% increase in the effectiveness of the ad. Interest. We got attention, now we need interest. The words you use, the font and the layout will keep them interested. That's why you need to make certain of certain things. You need to write in the what's in it for me language. I call that a point of you. Not a point of view, a point of you. If you've got the word you in it a lot, will that work? Yes or no? Yeah, it keeps you focused on the customer. Next point, Times New Roman, upper and lower case for your headline and just sentence case for it. Times New Roman, not Arial or Helvetica or anything with rounded fonts. Does that make sense to everyone? Do you all know what I mean by it? There's what's called a serif and a sans serif font. Serif they're the little feet. They're called curlicues on the bottom of letters. You know those little feet? If you don't know what I'm talking about, flip your folder over. Have a look at the front cover of your folder where it says sales. See Action International, where it's written up the side. That doesn't have any curlicues. No little feet on it. See down the bottom where it says the world's #1 business coaching team? See how that has little feet on it? They're curlicues. That is called a serif font. Sans serif means no little feet. Serif means little feet. You want a serif font with the little feet. What does that do? Creates a line underneath the words, those little feet, and it makes it easier for the eyes to read. It actually increases readership and comprehension by approximately 60%. Is that a good thing to do, yes or no? Yeah, absolutely. Next one, we don't use italics, capitals, or underlining in our fonts. We can in the headline, but we rarely do. No italics, capitals, or underlining. What do they make your eyes do? Stop. What is the one thing you don't want the reader doing when they're reading your ad? Stopping. You want their eyes to keep on flowing. Next one, use columns, short paragraphs, spaces between paragraphs, and indent the first line of a paragraph. Columns. Why do we write our advertisements in columns? Easy to read, but also what does the newspaper do? Writes in columns. So you want it to look fairly similar. See, it's not called an ad paper, even though sometimes these days it should be. It's called a newspaper. People open it to read the news. If you're writing an advertisement for a magazine, what do you want it to look like? You want it to look like the magazine's articles. And it looks like what they're trying to sell. Can you, if you take out a full-page advertisement in a magazine, can you make your thing into 3 articles plus a small ad down the bottom and it's all yours, yes or no? Yeah, why would you do that? You then got 4 headlines to attract people to different things. Does that make sense? I remember one client I wrote an ad for. It was a full-page newspaper ad in a broadsheet paper. You know the size of that? It's huge. We actually put 17 different things on that paper, on that page, all for him. between articles, photos, and then we had 6 different advertisements that were all for his business but targeted different parts of the marketplace. Huge response. And last but not least, use a caption under your photograph. Always have a caption where I said, you know, Bob, and then Bob puts his guarantee on there. Then we've got to build desire. Desire really comes from several things. A great offer. You need to test offers as much as you test headlines. So you'll test headlines, but you also need to test offers. Sizzling words. Don't just use, oh, that's such a wonderful deal. It's a cash cow full of bargain basement prices. Use words that actually develop emotion in the person reading. Testimonials, always fantastic in advertisements. And benefits, 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 benefits. Focus on the benefits. And last but not least, the action. You need a call to action. Call now with your credit card handy. How many of you have heard that on the Demtel style ads? Why? Because it works, folks. Be specific, make it easy, and sometimes use a coupon. I've actually gone away from using coupons now because for the amount of money it costs to put it in there. Why have people stopped using coupons? They go either on the 1-800 or they go to your website. So in most ads that I run these days, I will put the website address because some people want more information. Does that make sense? If you don't have a website, come see this guy. Yeah.
So the ad is obviously not a small ad when you talk testimonials and stuff like that.
It depends on the size of your ad. You can use a testimonial as your headline. You know, it really depends upon the target audience you're going after. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to structure it? How are you going to set it up? But you always test your ad. Do you test a big ad or a small ad? Small. Always test small and work your way up.